Adaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Thai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Thai Gaura Hari Bol Go Premanande Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Nena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Go Premanande Haribo. Today we're going to talk about procrastination. And everyone's smiling. The word actually means until tomorrow. Crasto means tomorrow. So procrastination means tomorrow. However, we don't really have tomorrow. It's an illusory concept that tomorrow will come. We only have now. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Nahi kaschit shanamapi jatu tishchatya karma krit karyate havasha karma sarva prakriti jayar gunai. That everyone is forced to act by the modes of material nature. No one can stop acting even for a moment. And the next question is, what kind of activity is beneficial? And this is much of the subject matter of the Bhagavad Gita. Because you have to act, how should you act for your greatest benefit? And time is finite. This is one important point to realize. A transcendentalist understands that I can die at any minute. A materialistic person puts it off and thinks I'll live forever, or it's so far in the future I don't have to think about it, or even if it's not far in the future, I'm not going to think about it. Ostrich philosophy. We can only make progress in the present time. So, to overcome procrastination, one of the first principles is clarity. I have to become clear about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. What is my mission in life? In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that as long as one has the human body and it hasn't fallen down due to illness and death, then we should utilize it to discover the self and discover our highest interest in life. It's temporary. Even though it's temporary, it can give the highest benefit, the human body. So one idea to be very clear on is that we've been given a great gift in the form of the human body. Labham sudurlabham idam bahusam bhavante manusham artadam anityam apihatira. So the Shastra says that labham sudurlabham. We've gotten something that's very rare. Sudurlabha means very, very rare. Idam bahusam bhavante, and it's come after many, many, many lifetimes. And now you've attained it. How many people woke up this morning with that revelation, thinking that I have the greatest opportunity in the world? Yeah? To some degree, this can always be perfected. Remembering that I have a great gift and there's a finite amount of time to utilize that gift to the highest purpose, for its highest purpose, to achieve the goal. One thing to remember, and Srila Prabhupada used to point this out, we've already utilized many lifetimes. And one can judge, according to one's present birth, how one used one's previous births, because it's continuum. So presumption is that we've tried in previous lives to adapt to the material world, to adjust ourselves so we can have some situation here, a happy situation. And having tried for thousands and millions of births already, in a system that hasn't worked, because we're still here, one should then conclude that I should give at least this one life with full attention for the purpose of self-realization and Krishna consciousness. Don't waste another one. in a practical way, clarity means that we should take time in a very specific way to write down what is our goal, what is our mission. So one thing to do that's very helpful, especially in Kali Yuga, and Vyasadeva did this, is to write everything down. Think on paper. The second thing, decide exactly what you want. A third thing is to write it down. The fourth thing is to set a deadline or a goal. That's what sets everything in motion. When you have a deadline and it's very specific, what you're supposed to achieve by that time, then you can start moving towards it. Otherwise, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, without clarity, bahu shaka hyanantascha buddhayo avyavisayinam. The person who's not resolute in purpose. You don't have a clear mission, you don't have a clear goal, an ending point that you're shooting for. That person has an intelligence that's many-branched. Have you ever felt like you had a mind or intelligence that's many-branched? Yes or no? Yes or yes? Okay. What does it feel like, by the way?
Dissipated energy.
Can you use the microphone?
The energy seems divided.
Divided, okay. Confused about what to do? There's no one goal? Bahushaka. Stacy?
There's a lost feeling. Just lost, empty, not a lost feeling, not empty and full when you're in Krishna conscience. So I know something's wrong.
Okay. Yes.
It feels like there are so many tasks to be done and nothing is happening, and it feels so frustrating.
Frustrating. Many things to do and you're not doing any of them.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So this first principle of clarity can help immediately with overcoming procrastination. Setting a deadline or goal. We have thinking on paper. Decide exactly what you want. Write it down. Nothing earth-shattering so far that's too difficult to perform, right? Set a deadline or a goal. And I see this all the time at meetings. When I sit down for a meeting when we're brainstorming, and a completely unproductive meeting goes on, and lots of good ideas come up, and you talk. The group talks about it, and maybe even the ideas get written down. That's a step in the right direction, but nobody says what time is it going to be completed and who's responsible for it. If you don't have that, you don't have much. It can still roll forward indefinitely without any stopping point. So you have to, so to speak, nail it down by putting a date on it. When's it going to be finished? Once you have the deadline, then you can actually count backwards from that. And did you know that there's 117 days left until Nrsimha Chaturdasi? Were you aware of that? I am, because I have certain deadlines on that date. And you know how motivating it is when I open up my little goal calendar and I look on it and I say, okay, 117 days. I think I have to make progress today. I don't want to waste one of the 117 days. If I didn't have that, I could cruise all the way through to Nrsimha Chaturdasi and I wouldn't even notice it. I don't know the difference. I just got there. We're going to be 5 years older in 5 years anyway. So you might as well make an anchor at a certain point and make progress towards it. Srivas Pandit Prabhu.
Can we ask questions during the course of class? Okay. Prabhuji, one argument for those who are against deadlines is that it's going to cause too much of paralysis kind of thing. So how can one set deadlines and yet be nimble and acting upon it rather than feeling pressured?
It's going to cause what if you set a deadline?
If you set a deadline, then the thing is there's a deadline and there's too much of pressure, and that anxiety of meeting a deadline can actually thwart your efforts or slow down your efforts. And some people who are for setting deadlines
Of course.
use that.
Well, I mean, first of all, if you don't have a deadline, there's nothing to do. You can just, whenever you get finished, that's when it's done. There's no pressure at all. Pressure is not necessarily a bad thing. Pressure makes diamonds. That's what billions of billions of pounds of pressure underneath the earth over time makes a diamond. And as Radhanath Maharaj was pointing out in his talk at Intel about stress, is stress not necessarily bad? It's just how you manage it. When you're exercising your body, you're basically stressing it out. And just stress which has no ending point is very difficult to deal with and can be harmful. Actually, it's more stressful, I would argue, to not have a goal and not have a clear idea where you're going, because what happens is you start taking on many different tasks in your mind. There's a lot of people you have to call back. There's a lot of emails you have to answer, and there's unfinished tasks. For instance, your dashboard might be blinking saying service needed. And every time you jump in the car, you look at it and think, oh, I got to take care of that someday. And then there's 50 million other things running around in your head. And if you don't actually make a goal that I'm going to do this next Wednesday, I'm going to take care of the service on the car and all the other things. Once you take them out of your mind and you put them on paper, this is especially advocated in the book Getting Things Done by David Allen, who's made a very concise book, which has become a very popular book also because it's very commonsensical. That you need to capture everything that's going through your head now and put it down on paper or some device, some capturing device, because your head is the wrong place for it to be. And so once you take it out of your mind and you set a deadline for it, it actually energizes you. It's a kind of pressure that's positive rather than negative. Because when you don't have a deadline and you don't have clarity about when you're going to finish it, it's also pressure. But there's nothing you can do about it because there's no definite point when it's going to finish.
Prior to, we had the Bhakti Shastri class where we were discussing the deadlines and exams. And we were like discussing how without exams it is really not motivating.
Exactly. That's very true.
And yeah, so
now here's one of the techniques actually for overcoming procrastination. Do you ever fly anywhere and you have to catch a cab, or you have a deadline for the flight? Of course, if you're Sri Krishna Purushottam, you keep distributing books up until the last. Till half hour before, and then you go for your flight. He's a Navaduta. But I know for myself, when I know there's a flight coming up and I have to go out of town, especially if it's for longer than a weekend, I get really productive all of a sudden. I start remembering all the things that I should have done 2 weeks ago, last month and everything, and I just start taking them off my list quickly. And if I don't have that, then what's my motivation? So this is called the law of forced efficiency. When you have a definite time, a deadline, when you have to finish, then you become very productive. Because forced efficiency means you have to decide, you have to prioritize also. And we're going to talk about that in a minute also. Clarity also, we have thinking on paper, decide exactly what you want, write it down, set a deadline. And the next thing is to make a list of everything that you can think of that you are going to have to do to achieve your goal. And that's actually a very stress-relieving activity. If you decide what your goal is and what the deadline is, you write it down, and then you write down as many things as you can think of that you're going to have to do in order to reach the goal. This is part of clarity. After you do that, then organize your list into a plan. It's like we're going to Mayapur next week. And Mukharavind and Srivas Pandit and Shraddha Devi Dasi working together on a plan for the yatra. if we just showed up with 30 people. So what do you want to do now? I don't know. What do you want to do? But they're taking a lot of time to look at the places we're going and then, prioritize them on paper. It's very important. Then, once you have your plan, you've organized your list into a plan. That means you decide what's first, what's second, what's third. You prioritize it, take action immediately. Start doing something. And then resolve to do something every single day that moves you towards your major goal. So I've had experience. One of the most difficult things that I've had to do as far as meeting a deadline so far in my life is finishing a book. Because I've never written a book before. Written a lot of essays. I've written a lot of poems. I've written all kinds of stuff. But I've never actually finished a book. Something kind of like a book. Once in college I had to write an autobiography. And it was, kind of a deadline sort of thing. But this is altogether different. And when I was leaving Vrindavan last year, Burijan Prabhu called me up. He's written several books, and he's also a very busy person. He heard about the book I was writing. He got excited about it. He called me up, and he said, I have some advice for you. I'll tell you how to finish your book. I said, please, tell me how. And he said, you have to resolve to write at least one sentence every day. And he said, I have completed 3 or 4 books. I forgot how many he said. While doing many other things. He said, I know you're busy. And so have I been busy. But the way I completed my book is I resolved without any wavering that I'll do at least one sentence every day. He said, because the thing that holds you up the most is when the trail goes cold. When you stop for a few days or for a week or for a month, and then you think, oh, it's been a month, and your head just spins and you don't get back in. But when you keep your mind into it and you at least go back and give it consciousness once a day with a sentence, one sentence turns into a paragraph. Paragraph turns into a whole page, and then you can be absorbed for hours. But you have to keep contact with it somehow or other. So here's a mantra that is very, very powerful for moving forward your agenda in life, which is to go back to Godhead. And that is that never greet the dawn without a map. Never greet the dawn without a map. That is, plan every day in advance. So if you, the night before, decide what is it you're going to do the next day. If you're going to perform puja, you put out all the puja paraphernalia. It's all ready to go. If you're going to be chanting japa, get your japa beads out right where you know where they are. Put your books in order and everything else. And also have a list of what you need to do. If you prioritize it the night before, you decide what is it that I need to do the next day. And you write a list. When you wake up in the morning and you have that map and it's ready to go, your intelligence and mind become immediately directed to the next step and the next step. You become infinitely more efficient than if you just wake up and decide, what are you going to do today? Someone said, what are you going to do today? Well, I don't know yet. I'm not sure. You waste a lot of time. Another way to overcome procrastination is to always work from a list. Don't do things out of your head, but keep a list of the things that you need to do. And you can have a master list, and that is you can always be adding to it. If you think of something, if it's in your head, I should do this, or I'd like to do this, put it down on your master list, and then refine the list into a monthly list, a weekly list, and a daily list. And that brings us to a very important rule. And this is called the 10-90 rule. You've heard of the 80-20 rule, I'm sure. The Pareto principle that 20% of the people get 80% of the work done and 80% of the people do 20% of the work. And that 20% of your activities account for 80% of your result and 80% account for 20%. This is a different rule. This is called the 10-90 rule. And this rule says that the first 10% of time that you spend planning and organizing your work before you begin will save you as much as 90% of the time in getting the job done once you've started. A little bit of planning ahead of time, the night before, the week before, the year before. Just at the beginning of the year, it's a good time to take off a few days and sit down and decide, what am I doing? Where am I going? If you have a spouse, go hide out somewhere for 3 days and decide, what are we doing? What are we trying to accomplish this year? My wife and I did that earlier in the year. It's very productive. Take a few days and really think and take some time, because life's moving too fast. And to do it on the fly will leave you bewildered with a lot of things to think about. You did it this year, didn't you? Malin and Srivas took a weekend off to plan and write things down, right? How was it? It was very good. Okay. So remember the 1090 rule. Don't hesitate to sit down and plan things out. And think it out on paper. Write it down. Make lists that you can work from before you just start doing the work, especially on projects. And then the next thing is the 80-20 rule. And I just said what the rule is. It's called the Pareto principle. It was that 80-20 was coined by Alfredo Pareto. He said that 20% of your work will get, of your activities will get 80% of the result, and vice versa. So as we've said before, another mantra that goes with this that is important and potent is, don't major in minor things. When you decide what are the most important activities for me to do, and you perform those first, you make those your priority, then you stay in the major leagues. And when you dwell on minor things that are easier to do, and you simply perform those, then you stay in the minor leagues. So you want to be in the major leagues or the minor leagues? Major leagues. So as far as sadhana goes, there are staples. One of them is chanting really good japa. It is our primary sadhana, our primary practice to reach the perfection of life, to give undivided attention to chanting the holy name of the Lord. So one of the tricks of Maya is to introduce other activities that she thinks might be more enticing, and she'll try to convince you they're more important than chanting japa. But your job is to stick with the 80-20 rule and realize that without connecting to the holy name every day in a sincere and very profound way, because of my complete concentration on the holy name, then all the other things in my life are not possible. I won't have the power to perform the other tasks that I'm trying to do. I may have told you this before, but it's worth repeating. One of my godbrothers, Vaisesika Prabhu, who was a prolific book distributor. We used to work together in O'Hare Airport, Chicago. And he had a laser beam-like focus in his book distribution, and it came from his japa. He was so intent on distributing books and mastering his service and providing the best kind of service he could while he was distributing books that he was famous for his japa. He would sit and fully concentrate on the syllables of the holy name. You could watch him from across the temple room, and he would chant with clarity, pronounce every syllable, and nobody could come near him. Don't dare go ask him a question or say, "Hey, how you doing?" or even ask him to do another service. He would not move his attention from his japa. And when he would go out on Sankirtan and do his service distributing books, he was very potent. And sometimes people would ask him, how are you doing so many books? He always had a one-word answer. Japa. Focus on japa. This is the 80-20 rule. And this is actually how Krishna defines faith. Shraddha Shabde Bishwash Kahe Surida Nishchoy Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. That as one develops faith, the devotee feels that just by chanting the holy name of the Lord, everything else will come. If I focus on this, if I give my due diligence, then I'll develop the spiritual intelligence that I need. I'll get taste, everything that I need to move forward in life. The other thing is to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Our intelligence needs to be reinvigorated every day, not once a week, not once a month, not once a year. Yoga Nashta Parantapa. The disciplic succession even needs to be refreshed on a regular basis. And Uddhava hears from Krishna in the 11th canto, and Krishna says that on regular basis, the sound vibration of the parampara needs to be refreshed because the material plane is enervating. There's entropy here. Everything is degrading. We played yesterday this game of Whisper. It's very difficult. It's challenging. I mean, I heard it the first time and thought, did I get it? It's like somebody throws you a slippery ball full of soap and you know, the mind can't catch it all at once. And then you have to pass it on to somebody else. So it's important to hear every single day the Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially sit down with Prabhupada's books and read the purports and hear it every day. And if you're a householder, you live outside, you have many duties, you have many responsibilities, you have to pay yourself first. There's an old trick that comes from biblical times, how to become a wealthy person. You want to know? Yeah. Anybody can become wealthy, even if they're from modest means. That actually comes from a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. And there's a lesson in this for our spiritual life, for our sadhana. And I'll tell you the secret to getting material wealth. And then I'll translate it into spiritual wealth. So the secret is that you have to pay yourself first. Everyone earns some kind of income. And before you pay the government, before you pay for your water and your overhead and your food and everything else, you have to pay yourself first. That means you have to, in this formula for developing wealth, you have to take the top from your income, at least 10%, and put it aside. Don't touch it. You can't touch it for anything. It has to be invested in land or cows or something like that. So if you don't have enough to put 10% away, then you have to either earn more or spend less. But you got to come to 10%, right? If you do this, if you look at the numbers and you just get a modest return on your investment of 10% that you keep putting aside, and you start when you're 20 years old, by the time you're 50, you'll be very wealthy, even if you're of modest means. I'm bringing this point up not because I'm advocating that you concentrate on this necessarily. That's a very sound principle, but it works for spiritual life. Pay yourself first. There are many demands. Everyone wants something from you, and all your senses want something from you. They're all asking, I want something first. I want to be paid first. Before you give to anybody else, pay Krishna first. Pay your soul first, because the soul is the most important. Indriyani priyanyahur indriyebhya param manaha manasastu parabudhir yobhudhe paratastu saha. The soul's above all. There's the senses, the mind, the intelligence, and then there's the soul. The soul is categorically different from matter. Whatever you invest in matter in the material world, it'll evaporate. We're only meant to invest in the body as much as we need to maintain it. And the rest, the balance, should go into our spiritual development. And in the beginning, the ratio may be very small, what we can do for our spiritual development. But you have to take a percentage and every day pay yourself first. So remember this principle. No matter what else you have to do in the day, no matter how dire it is, even if you're being asked to go meet Barack Obama or something like that, you have to pay yourself first spiritually. Finish your japa with attention, and also do your hearing. You have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Sankhya purvakanama gana natibi kalavasani krito nidra ahara vihara kari vijito chatyanto dino chayo. The Goswamis counted how much they did every day. They didn't pay themselves 10%. They paid themselves 99.9%, their higher self. And they saved that 1% for taking a little bit of refreshment and so on. Now, that's not to become fanatics. Krishna says, yukta hara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta swapnavabodasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. We're not to imitate these kinds of things. In fact, Krishna says, tavat karmana kurvita na nirvidyeta yavata matkata shravanado va shada naivam najayate. I think I messed up the last line. But in any case, that verse is from the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Krishna tells Uddhava that until you've fully awakened your taste for hearing and chanting, you must also maintain your duties, your Vedic duties properly. So there's a way we have to balance, and important in that balance is to make sure that your spiritual life doesn't go extinct. Pay yourself first, and when you're starting off in a very busy life, make sure that you have your basics every day. You take in your basics. Japa, hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and the other books, and you can put off everything else until you pay yourself first. Make sure that you get it done. And then you begin to develop a solid core of a taste for hearing and chanting, and you'll, over time, make a great advancement. A little bit every day. Drops a day, wear the stone away. And if you're consistent every day with doing these solid practices, even if you're not, chanting all day long or something like that, they'll have a very, very profound effect. Points or questions before I move on? Yes.
Just to reiterate the 1090, this is regarding the 1090 rule which we talked. The first 10% of plan will save 90% of your effort. Did you say that?
When you spend 10% of your time planning, then you save 90% of the time getting the job done.
Okay, thank you.
That's it, yeah. Hansapriya.
I think 90-10 also made me think of 24 hours, so 10% of the time. If it's put into the sadhana, then the rest of the 90% is also goes very well.
Yes, definitely. And I like it because the rule for investing and making wealth materially is 10%. At least save 10% of your gross income. So you have 24 hours gross time, so to speak. At least take 10%, pay yourself spiritually first. That's just the base. If you can do more, you can gradually increase that to have that as a balance in your life.
So, Maharaj, I had a question about these days we are so much into multitasking. Like at work, I'm doing multitasking all the time. Earlier, it used to be a little bit better because if you had a meeting, you would go into a room and then you could not multitask. But nowadays, with web conferencing and all, people always are having like multiple screens open, and they're doing with one ear they're listening, with one hand they're doing something. So there's so much of multitasking going on. So how do we? How can you suggest some tips on how to get out of it? I mean, I start my day trying to, say that I'm going to finish my japa and I'm going to finish my reading in the morning, but somehow or the other, something will come out.
Well, try this. Find out what the most important tasks are, and then take all the other distractions away. Try do single tasking especially on your most important items. This goes towards another principle I hate to mention in this class, but it's called the if you have a frog to swallow, you don't sit around thinking about it. You just swallow them as quickly as you can. And if you have two frogs to swallow, you should swallow the ugliest one first. So this goes to the idea that if you have some task that the frog represents, something you really are not looking forward to getting done, that's probably one of the tasks that's going to get your biggest result, because it's something you're grappling with, and go for it first. But experts recommend that you remove all the other kinds of distractions. For instance, around your work area, take everything else away, because it amounts to visual noise, and it actually takes away your ability to concentrate on the task at hand. But one of the principles for efficiency is to have complete focus. And I mentioned this the other day, but sometimes people who are very productive in their life, they even minimize the amount of furniture in their house, the colors on their walls. Steve Jobs was famous for this by painting everything white in his house and not having furniture and stuff. But if you clear your desk area, and that includes your desktop on your laptop, of all the other kinds of bells and whistles, and only concentrate on one thing, it very much helps. And when I get up early in the morning to write, it's because I'm on a deadline, and I turn off everything else, and I don't have anything else in my room that's vying for my attention, and especially turn off anything that rings. Just like when you get on an airline, they say anything with an on-off switch, turn it off. And if you have other papers, sitting around, make sure they're put in their place, or at least they're not in your realm of vision, and then concentrate on the task at hand. Sometimes, you can multitask, but get your major items done first. Like especially with hearing and chanting, don't bring your cell phone. You won't be able to concentrate on your japa if you have your cell phone, especially if it's on. It might ring, and then it'll ruin your concentration. I know the best japa I do is there's certain places, I know Los Angeles, I always have good japa. I sit right in between Banabata and Sachinanoy. They're always in the same place next to Tulsi Devi, and I always sit right in between them. And I get full concentration there. One good japa session where you have full concentration for 16 rounds at least can change your life. You can actually move to the next level of Krishna consciousness in one japa session if you really are able to concentrate. The power of concentration is profound. And so we shouldn't procrastinate and think, I'll chant a good japa session sometime. Maybe if I go to a japa retreat, I'll do it. Or maybe when I get to Vrindavan in 5 years, I'll sit down and I'll really chant japa. Have your life-changing sadhana experience today. Have it tomorrow morning. Write it down tonight. That tomorrow is going to be a life-changing 16 rounds. And won't that make a difference in your day to fully concentrate on that one thing with full focus? So my answer is that at least the 20% items that you get you the 80% result, you should do with full focus. And then if there are other items that you need to multitask and they're not as important, then do that. Even one of these principles that's listed here, if you actually apply it, will go a long way. And that reminds me, I'm going to jump ahead to something I jotted down here. And an average person who develops the habit of setting clear priorities and getting important tasks completed quickly will run circles around a genius who talks a lot and makes wonderful plans but gets very little done. Really, if you're just an average person but you have a bias for action and completing your tasks, you'll be way ahead of most of the world. And you'll notice it everywhere. I mean, there's a lot of inefficiency around. And people talk about doing a lot of things. People almost do a lot of things. I know I've run into friends who I've talked to who have had a plan or an idea or a thought. It's not actually a plan because they never wrote it down, but they're just thinking about doing something. I meet them 10 years later and they're still thinking about it. But one thing actually completed now and done with a bias for action and then that habit repeated over time will move you ahead rapidly on your path. Trishab.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have a question about procrastination. So one thing that comes to mind is that this thought that time is eternal, that it's always going to be there. So that thought makes things, because the thought is that if I don't do it today, I might get a better, I might get more inspiration tomorrow, or so there's a thought of waiting for the right time, and so waiting for the right time and thinking that a better time will be there to do this task. So how to get through that?
Well, the fact is we can die at any minute. That's a fact. Really, the other day when I was in Honolulu, I was talking to Vaisesika Prabhu, and we were talking about how the heart beats and why it sometimes stops and everything. And I was just relating to him information I got from Satyadev Prabhu, who was a paramedic for 20 years. He said sometimes for no reason it just stops. I mean, there's no apparent reason. It just stops ticking. It's not like you have to get any warning or anything. And then a lot of times I feel my heart and I think, it's a miracle it works at all. I mean, the whole system is just working, and I take it for granted every day. And procrastination is rooted in this attitude of taking for granted what I have now. That's why I began the class by speaking about what a rare opportunity the human body is to ply across the ocean of material existence. And so the Shastra is constantly calling to us, reminding us that you don't have much time. You don't have much time. You look out in the wild, in the Sahara, the wildebeest, when it's born, little baby wildebeest, it gets up on its feet right after it's born, and it wants to nurse, but the mother starts nudging it and saying, "You got to get moving because the lions are coming." It has after it's born, it has about 3 or 4 seconds to adjust to the world. As soon as it comes out, say, "Okay, get up, let's go. The lions are coming." You can't afford to just stand around here. And with humans, sometimes, they take 30 or 40 years to figure out their path in life.
Something, a realization that I had yesterday. We were playing the game of musical chairs, and so you're nicely walking, you're laughing, and suddenly, without your knowing, the music stops, and then you are left without a chair. And then the thought came to mind was like, death would be like that. You just don't know, and it suddenly, somebody just.
It's a good example, yeah. Have you ever walked in a room and you flip on the light switch and it goes poof, and the light doesn't work? You think, oh no, the light doesn't work. The body's mechanical also. It's just like that. One day you'll flip it, and so don't take it for granted. Gandharvika.
So Prabhuji, I totally understand the point that you're saying that we get done only if we have a plan. But how do we take when we hear Yadricha Labha Santushto, take whatever comes on its own accord, we should accept. Then how does planning fit in that principle?
Well, the plan is to complete your service. Service you should be very active for. Mayapur Vihari Prabhu should have, 5-year goals, 4-year goals for Motel Gita. In fact, I noticed how when I wrote down in that interview, like, we'll do 1 million Gitas by 2000 or something, and somebody took it out. And I thought, 1 million Gitas, our goal is to do 1 million Gitas by when, You got to say, as soon as you say we're going to do 1 million Gitas by 2015 or whatever it is, then you'll be electrified, But in any case, yes, we take an active role in our service and we make plans to move that ahead. And in the process, knowing that we're doing our very best to serve and to extend ourselves to our service, we accept whatever Krishna sends in return, whatever comes of its own accord. If we're endeavoring for some material thing, of course, these principles also work on a material level as far as progressive people go towards materialistic goals. But we're not interested in that. Ultimately, our goal is to go back home, back to Godhead. And we have a finite amount of time, and therefore we should have plans to use our time as efficiently as possible during this lifetime to attain that. And in the process, whatever kind of facility Krishna sends us, we accept that. But if we don't extend ourselves fully, Prabhu gives this example that it's possible to get an honorary degree. Bill Cosby has one. He got an honorary PhD. Oprah Winfrey. People who do exceptional life work, sometimes a university will call them up and say, we're going to give you a PhD because of your life's work. But if someone goes to school, they're at Stanford and their parents are paying $80,000 a year or something like that. And then they think, I'm not going to go to the class because I might get an honorary degree. They're mistaken. We should endeavor in our Krishna consciousness as if everything depended on the work that we're doing, but then we should expect or just depend on Krishna's mercy to get there. Yes. SKP.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji, sometimes the priorities we'll overcome. For example, we are intoxicated with some service, and we committed to some people. I'll come today by 6 o'clock. For example, I come back home, but as soon as we go to the spot, and I always personally myself miss that 1 hour gap. Like they told, come by 7 o'clock in the evening program.
You mean your wife?
Wife and other people also, Prabhuji.
Okay. So your question is how to balance your personal life and commitments with your service, which sometimes you get intoxicated with your service and then you sort of, blow off your other obligations and don't show up on time.
And we'll get harassment from other people, they keep on calling, harassment. You are not coming on time, So how to overcome that type of...
Well, one thing is that Stephen Covey gives a good device for this in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. And he says that everyone has a bank account in their heart. And take this for a family situation. Okay, you have a spouse. How many people here have a spouse? Raise your hand. Okay. You all get a spouse. So here's a good way to interact with your spouse. Pretend that he or she has a bank account in his or her heart, and that you need to keep a certain balance in that bank account. What happens with your regular bank if you overdraw? Unless you have overdraft protection, which is, you should also have in your spousal relationship. Huh? No money, and there's a penalty also. You can pay a lot. You can pay a big penalty for overdrawing your account. Insufficient funds. There are big problems for that. So you don't want to overdraw. So if you have a relationship, whether it's a spouse or any relationship, actually, this relates to for all the brahmacharis out there. Yeah. For whatever your relationship is, you should keep a balance. That means in times when you can go out of your way to do something thoughtful, to help that person and make a deposit in the account. Don't think summer. Think winter during summer also, because there's time comes when you need to make a withdrawal. So if you go out of your way to be helpful, thoughtful, and all the times that you possibly can, when it comes to an overdraw, during service times when you really get absorbed and you really do need to stay out an extra hour because the ecstasy is too high to ignore. Then you'll have something to draw on. But if you're always taking, and say, it's okay, because I'm absorbed in service, someone might not be on that same level, or you have these two areas of your life you have to balance. And if you're able to make regular deposits, and other times you can draw at certain times also, and that's the trick to doing that. And so you can't always, come back on time or something like that. If you can't, then do that.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I learned one thing from you, Prabhuji. When you come for Sankirtan, you call in between to your house one time and talk to Mataji, and I seen and I learned from that. So that helped me a lot, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you.
It's important. It's really important because we work together in whatever ashram we're in. We work together with other people. This is the meaning of Sankirtan. Sankirtan is a combined effort, and whether somebody's directly engaged in doing a service, and in the temple community as well, as Vrindavan Priya Prabhu so expertly and Hansa Priya designed these games to bring out the names of all the kinds of people who are helping in the community. It's a group effort. We're all working together, and the more we don't take people for granted, the more we're actually acting in Krishna consciousness. We should appreciate everybody's service, and those who are supporting us at home and so on. If we give our Krishna consciousness means complete consciousness. We don't miss anything. We don't just push away one side and only see Krishna on the other side. Okay? All right. Sunny.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Someone online? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Who is that? Checking in on telephone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Nirja?
It's Nija.
Yeah.
Nirja, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Can you move that pillow? Maybe that's blocking the speaker. Try it now. Go ahead, Nirja.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Jai Prabhupada. I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, about the tasks.
Yes.
Then we, as you said, making the list and all. So I always notice whenever I make a list, so there are certain tasks that are always remaining, because we always go by priority. So say suppose I have a list of 10 tasks yesterday, so I could complete 6 out of them, then 4 are remaining. So then that 4 gets in my today's list, but again today I have 10 tasks. So that last remaining 3 or 4 tasks are always left. So then that is the way they get procrastinated. So how to overcome this thing?
Well, it depends on if you're still surviving after all this time, those 4 are still left over. Maybe they're not as important. I'm not sure what they are. But if they are important and you're not getting to them, then move them to the top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, if you're consistently not doing them, they may not be and they're low priority, it's not such a big deal. But if they're high priority and you keep doing the low priority things and leaving those and you keep not doing them, then try starting at the bottom of the list the next day and doing those things first. So it's a matter of priority. As I said earlier, the law of force deficiency says you can't do everything. Nobody can do everything. But you can do the most important things. And that's why it's very important to be clear. What are the most important things? What are my priorities? So you have to have a mission. You have to know, does this contribute to my goals, to my core goals every day? And some things, some tasks that you may eliminate from your life altogether if they don't actually contribute to it and you're not doing them anyway. Or you can delegate them. which is another way to become efficient, is to delegate tasks to other people. Did that help?
Yeah, that helps very much. And if I suppose make a goal, like tomorrow I have to wake up at 4 for doing my japa, and I cannot do it. So then there is a frustration which is derived out of that. So, I'm already late. I targeted for 4, but it's already 6. So then that frustration is there for the entire day till I decide, okay, let's continue tomorrow. And it goes on and on.
Well,
so
if
how
that,
to overcome that frustration?
I see. That's a good example. If it becomes chronic, you might want to examine the goal. You might say, why don't I get up at 5:30 and work backwards from there. Do what, if every day you're missing the 4 o'clock and it goes on and on and on, then you may have an unrealistic goal. And therefore pick something that's realistic. Start at, 5:59 and then work backwards. One thing is, if you can achieve small incremental victories in your goal setting and your progress, it'll give you self-esteem and you'll develop some momentum. Do what you can do now, and then gradually increase. That's an important principle. Yes, Bali Mardan?
Let me say.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Sunny.
All this goal-oriented processing in our life, oftentimes, in order to do that we cannot do that in a mechanical way. What my little experience is it is help that if we can understand how important that will make the change in the ourselves, in the society we live. I will the example, good example. We are all waiting for your book. Imagine 100,000 book all over the world, and 100,000 people reading that book, and what kind of impact and change going to bring it to the society for tomorrow. I think about that all the time. When we think about Prabhupada, waking up in the morning, writing that books, and limiting that sleeping time, look how much result bring after this, couple of generations. So it definitely in the service part, when we are putting a goal, make sure how important it is, and that is our driving force. That's the burning desire to do that things. Without that desire, the goal is kind of fuzzy. It's not clear otherwise.
Okay, I got to go. That's an excellent point, and actually it's one of the points on my list here, and that is, this is a mantra, that motivation requires motive. Motivation requires motive. If you don't have a motive, you're not going to be motivated. So you remember, first of all, what is the consequence of my procrastinating a certain thing? It's not nothing. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. You're going to either miss opportunity, or there's going to be, you'll lose self-esteem. You may lose your position, something like that. And on the other hand, if you realize what is the reward, that I'll be able to offer something wonderful to my spiritual master, or I'll be able to advance my service, then you can remember what your motive is. When people are motivated, they can really overcome a lot of obstacles and do the needful to move ahead. So you have to have that motivation. So it's a really good point. Remember, look at the end point and see what's going to happen if you actually do apply yourself. And it's amazing, just a little bit of application every day. Like Akinchana Krishna Prabhu, who teaches me Mridanga whenever I go to India. And he talks a lot about his own development in playing the Mridanga, and how when he was in the Brahmacharya ashram, they'd never let him go practice, or maybe just for 5 minutes or something like that. But as whenever he could sneak away and get some time to practice, he would do it. And then as he got better and better, people were asking for more and more service. Come play Mridanga. And then finally he told me that he really was able to develop when he was able to take an hour a day to sit up on the roof of the New York Temple and full concentration, practices mridanga, and then he could see that he changed. And so if we're clear about the motivation, what the result is going to be, we'll be able to do more service and reach the kind of level of offering that we want to make. That will help move us forward. Someone had their hand up in the back. Oh, yes. And then Bali is first, and then we'll go back to Virjendra Kumar.
So I have actually one question and one observation, which is first one, which Shraddha Mataji brought about the multitasking. Actually, I attended one similar session with our company, and there we have 9 female, 5 male. So more than 90% of the ladies, they raise that they are multitasking, favorable. And most of the gents, those who are there, they favor that they cannot do multitasking. For example, my own experience, when at home, my wife can clean and talk over the phone and even engage with our wife for talking his things. So 3 things he can do. If I am doing cleaning, even I cannot talk over phone. So it is impossible for me. If I am chanting, means I am done with that. So it is basically, I am saying that it is a personality, and really something is gender-based. Maybe other personalities there. We cannot, even though if we try, even though they try, they cannot avoid multitasking. They have to do it. It is designed that. And the second point where... So the second thing I wanted to say, the planning, as you mentioned about, that in some cases, in my own personal example, there is my friend, he will call over his wife for, let's say, going for Lake Tahoe. Oh, we have to buy this, that, 20 things. His wife will be completely irritated. Why are you planning this much? Over planning. We just go. So the way he planned that entire, their bag and trunk will be full with many different things. Like take water, it might be umbrella, then this, that. But his wife will be completely irritated. What are you doing? Then most of the times they will come without using 70% of their stuff they take. So the point he wants to make, and also we asked in our one of the planning session to the coach who was teaching us, and he was saying that how much planning you have to do, and he gave the PDCA, the diagram, and he was saying that definitely there is a disk profile, direct information, there is a disk profile just we see from different personalities. So he was saying that planning really, it doesn't work out with some people, those who have a different vision in their life, or those who do not maintain any strategy. So planning really doesn't matter for them. So I just wanted to know from you that how much one should really, if I have a 2 different personality like that, then how we can teach him or educate that planning is really helpful, or how we can simplify our planning so that it is not burden for some group of people.
Well, some people's plan is to simplify. And you can have a plan to simplify. I talked to Vidyapurna Maharaj because I saw that he didn't have any possessions. And I met with him one year in Vrindavan. I said, tell me how'd you do this? And he said he had a plan over 20 years to get rid of all his possessions. And so every time he'd go on a trip, he'd look and see what he didn't use and what he could have done without. And then he'd take a risk the next time and leave it. And then he'd leave without it. And then he started getting in this momentum that I don't need so many things. His plan was to simplify. It's a plan also. And so, yeah, different personalities and also different agendas in life. There are different stations in life people have. If somebody's a king and they're a manager, they have to do so many things. Mayapur Vihari's got to think about a lot of stuff because he's got 1 million Gitas to do by what date? We plan our book distribution. This is one of the things I teach about book distribution, that there's 4 laws, and the 4th law is organization. And I always say, you can do a little bit and you can just be blissful doing a little bit of book distribution. Prabhupada kept telling us to double book distribution. How are you going to do that without a plan? You can't. It doesn't just happen by chance. But if somebody is a wandering mendicant, they may, their plan may be very, very different. Their plan may be just to depend on Krishna at every step. You can try that also. Make a plan to just depend on Krishna for everything, in a lot of ways. it's also a kind of planning as well. So it's not meant to become neurotic, the planning, but it's actually to give us some guidelines. And we're really going by the, as far as sadhana goes, that in the beginning, it's important to have guidelines because the senses have their own impetus. They will make a plan for you if you don't make a plan. The senses have a really clear idea about what they want. They're just locked into their sense objects, and they'll take you in that direction, and then you'll be obligated to follow their plan. So you have to have a higher plan. That's the idea in the sadhana bhakti. And gradually, as you do that, you develop these internal, develop an internal clarity about what you should really be doing in your life, and you develop a taste for hearing and chanting, and that becomes, you can make a plan for that. How many hours you're going to hear and chant and so on. That's why we have schedules and things like that. But I admit that there are different kinds of people at different stages of life, and it can be applied in different ways. These are just basic principles. Well,
yeah.
Rajendra, you were next. Yeah.
Prabhuji, when we plan, we go according to it for some time, like say 1 week, 2 weeks. We are finding some success in it. But then sometimes, our schedule becomes very tight and we are not able to follow our plan and it falls back. So there is a feeling of success and failure within. And then Krishna says, you should be equipoised and be in mode of goodness without wavering to success and failure. Just continue. So I wanted to understand that what Krishna is saying is how to achieve, how to follow what Krishna is saying, to be without wavering in success and failure. I want to understand how to achieve that state.
Well, it's really to understand that the result is dependent on Krishna's mercy. And if you're doing it to please Him, and you do your duty, do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering loss or gain, victory or defeat. And also, one of the reasons to have a plan is you don't know what the interim steps are going to be like. You may look like you're going down, but that may be part of the process. When you're going up to the top peak in the Himalaya, or the Mount Everest, you have to go through the foothills and they go up and down, but you're still climbing in elevation. So, the ultimate goal of life, reaching Krishna consciousness, may be fraught with, ups and downs and so forth. And you have to see those as learning opportunities as well. And a plan doesn't mean that you're always on it also. You may deviate from your plan, but it means you have a point of reference to come back to. It's like when you fly from one side of the country to the next, the plane doesn't go in an absolutely straight line. It's always pulling back towards the center. That's why they have somebody steering the plane. Because you got to pull. Like when you're driving your car, you're going like this. If you look at a movie of it, you're not just absolutely straight. You have to, even on a straight road, you have to keep pulling back. So the same way, you have a point of reference that moves you forward. Okay, a few more principles. You had your hand up? Okay, last one and then I'm going to finish off.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. So from what I understood, we need to have a specific goal coupled with a devotional service, to subdue procrastination. But is there a point in time where like an advanced devotee is above this procrastination, or he always has to fight with this? The reason I ask you is this. Remember, you mentioned about this sadhana.
Well, yes, actually, this is a stage in development of devotional service called bhava, and at this bhava stage, which is very far along in the advancement, it's mentioned that in the beginning there's faith, and after faith there's a desire to associate with devotees. When you associate with devotees, then you take up a vow. And you make a plan. I'm going to do this every day, no matter what. I'm going to follow the order of Scripture and the spiritual master. Then you fight it out with your senses because you're making a stand. You're saying, I'm following the Scripture. I'm not following my senses anymore. or my own mind. And then you'll get a fight. And this is called a nartanivritti, when you're cleansing yourself from these animalistic propensities. But then you come out the other side into nishta. And this means you have a firm standing in devotional service, and the obstacles that were there before are no longer there. They don't. You're not distracted by the mind and the senses. And after that, you get taste, a real taste for hearing and chanting. You feel an addiction for it, and you go for it. Ruchi, then asakti, then bhava. Then asakti means an attachment. And then you come to the bhava stage. And that bhava stage is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami. What is that? It goes, Shantir avyarta kalatvam, viraktir mana shunyata, ashabanda kalashanta, namagana sadaruchi. And it names 9 principles that are symptomatic of bhava. And one of them is called avyarta kalatvam, and that means a sense that time should not be wasted. And those who are in bhava don't waste any time. They don't procrastinate. Unless it's procrastinating mind. Now, procrastination can be used in Krishna service. Haridas Thakur did this. He was off chanting his japa, and the envious people in the village, especially one police chief, he was so envious of Haridas Thakur that there's this advanced sadhu and he's a Muslim. We should make him fall down. That's what envious people want. They want to see others fall down. So he arranged to send a prostitute there in the middle of the night to attract his mind and make him give up his practice. So she came in the middle of the night and presented herself before Haridas, who was chanting 3 lakhs a day. That means 64 rounds times 3. And he procrastinated. He told her, fine, I'll be happy to be with you, but you got to wait till I finish my rounds. And he kept chanting and chanting and chanting. And then the daylight came. And he said, sorry, I didn't finish my rounds. You have to come back. So she came back the next day. Same thing happened. Came back a third day. After hearing him chant so much, she became Krishna conscious and surrendered to him as his disciple. So there's a way in which we should procrastinate our sense gratification. So if sense gratification comes to us and say, then you can procrastinate that and say, later I'll take care of you. Later we'll have a gallon of ice cream or whatever it is. Now I'm going to finish my my japa. So you can procrastinate your material desires and the impulses of your senses, but never procrastinate your devotional service. Okay.
Perfect.
A few more principles, then we'll have a wrap up. And resist the temptation to clear up small things first. This is a strong temptation that I'll do all these little things, but the big things you don't get to. Do the big things first. Clear up the small things afterwards. Long-term thinking improves short-term decisions. So if you have a long-term goal or plan that's very clear, it makes it a lot easier to make the short-term decisions, know what to do, because they're going towards your bigger goal. I mentioned that you should pretend you're going on vacation. You get really productive before you go on vacation, so put yourself in that mindset. And another thing is very practical. Start a procrastination calendar. You all have a calendar, right? We heard it in the play yesterday. Damodar gave everyone a calendar. Did you get a calendar? It'll only cost you $2,000. Get yourself a calendar. Get your calendar. I have a beautiful calendar here. A very dear devotee gave to me. See if I have it in here. Where's my beautiful calendar? Here it is. Look at that. Hare Krishna. So this calendar, when you get your calendar, and go sit down with yourself one day and say, self, we're going to look at this calendar together. And then go through it and write down, if you're very ambitious, write down something you've been procrastinating and make a list and put one of those items every day. If you want to start smaller, put one every week. Can you think right now, if you think of something you've been procrastinating in your life, anything? Yeah. You have an idea, right? So now write it down. And then keep writing down the things, the big things that you've been procrastinating that you just don't want to do, that you've been really holding back on. Now transfer those over to your calendar and write them down. If you could do one a day or one a week or at least one a month, that you have one of these procrastination items on your calendar, and then make a plan to do that. Because what will happen, it's like breaking a boulder that's blocking your way on the road, and you'll be able to drive through those big items that really hold you back. Do them first. Do the big things first, and then all the little things seem really easy. And that's practical. And another practical thing is, if you don't know where to start when you're stuck, when you're procrastinating, start with the smallest little movement that you can possibly do. Now, one thing is people procrastinate reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because it looks so big. I mean, look at it. It's 12 cantos. If you just look at it when you're really busy and you're multitasking and your boss wants you to do 50 things that you won't possibly be able to get done, and you look at the Bhagavatam and you think, how could I read that? It's too big. It's too thick. So, page by page, be a sage. Just pick out what you can do now. Do one line. Just pull it off the shelf and say, I'm going to read one line. And what happens is it gives you momentum. You actually get exposure to the book, and then you get caught in a good way. And where attention goes, energy flows. If you're thinking about cleaning out your garage and making your house a more sattvic, get rid of a bunch of stuff. But it just seems overwhelming. You think, I could never do all that. Then start with something really small and just say, okay, I'm going to get rid, next month I'm going to get rid of all my extra shoes. Anybody have any extra shoes? Some of the women are laughing. I'll tell you one thing everyone's got extra of, I'll bet, is electronics. You got any old electronic stuff? Yeah? Because you got to buy a new, something every 6 months nowadays to keep up with the trends. So you end up with piles of stuff. And if you just start with one little category in your house or in your car, wherever it is, and deal with it a little bit at a time, then you get momentum, and you actually get addicted to doing that. Very positive thing. Clearing out things that you don't need, and you can become very productive. So start small. I've had this experience before. If I'm in a mode of ignorant state, and I need to clean up my space, and I think, I don't feel like it. Start with one thing. Go pick up one piece of paper and put it in the right place, and then one more, and start like that. Or weeding the garden. It may look overwhelming, and you think, that's a big job. This will take 50 people to do this. Just do one little patch, one tiny little patch, and then once that's clean, you get inspired, and you can do one more, and things grow from there. So unstick yourself from the procrastination habit by doing a little bit at a time. Always have action orientation, and develop a positive addiction to completing tasks. So, we have a couple of minutes left, so we're going to just take a lightning round of things that stuck in your mind, usable items that you're going to take with you. Don't just give it to us in 10 seconds and no questions. Okay, Pooja and then Stacy. Keep the microphones passing.
Just a comment, Prabhuji. I was reading a book called The Procrastinator's Handbook, and it said, even if you're the smartest person, never trust your mind and write everything down.
That's nice. Yeah, that's a good one. I always advocate you should always have a pen and something to write it down with, and you can catch very important things. Stacy.
And you said it, I think it was last week maybe, about procrastinating but doing it the right way. You do it where it's beneficial, or it's something that you really don't need to be doing, and it'll keep you. And you had also said about the same thing. You tell yourself, I'll get to it later. And I've done that, and it's worked very well. If you want to do japa, or you think you want that extra piece of pie, but you know that you need to go fill out an application or do something.
Right. Procrastinate the sense gratification. Say, I'll take care of you later. Right now, I'm going to take care of my service. Right. Okay.
Like Sunny Prabhu's point, and then you elaborate. Motivation requires motive.
Nice. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the class. One thing that I learned from attending your classes is the power of gratitude. That just by being grateful, a lot of things can be accomplished.
I was actually thinking about that this morning. That there's only so we're Satchidananda. Satchidananda is our nature. There's only so much we can be aware, because even in the spiritual world, there's Sat-Chit, which means existence, knowledge. There's only so much knowledge we can have. Even in the spiritual world, there's only so much you can know Krishna. And there's only so much you can be really aware that you exist. But you can be unlimitedly appreciative and grateful. Yes?
I really liked what you said. Result is dependent on Krishna's mercy. That's so nice. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Nice.
I like the life-changing experience today.
Have a life-changing experience today. Yeah, why not? Why wait till the Japa retreat 10 years from now, right? Nice. Sunny and then Rasika Shiromani.
Okay. I would just want to add something that some of the Prabhujis was asking, that even if you continue these things and sometimes you are not following or feel like failing, even if you do that, to developing that habit in long term, it is always good. It has become our nishta or charya.
Nishta. Yeah, nice. Good point. Rasika Shiromani.
I like this point that you said that we should procrastinate our sense gratification and not procrastinate devotional service.
Nice. Good.
I had one question. Do we have time now?
Oh, no questions because we're on the lightning round. And who is that calling in?
This is Divyanga calling, Vice.
Divyanga? Hare Krishna. Give Divyanga a hand. Divyanga Prabhu, are you just coming back from Sankirtan?
That's correct, and I'm so sorry to interrupt. I was sitting here procrastinating whether to call you or not. But I couldn't stand it because I couldn't interrupt you. Everything you were saying was so nice, but I have a personal testimony about starting small, because when you made me, do a chapter a day.
Can you turn it up a little bit? Oops. That won't work.
Can you hear me?
Hold on, Div. We can hear you, but we're straining, so we're just going to turn up the volume a tad because we don't want to miss anything.
Okay.
Now we can hear you. Go right ahead. Start over.
All right. When you made me do a chapter a day, and you've been making me do that since 1973, when I started to do it, then I found myself doing 2 chapters or 3 chapters and like that. And it's just, I can personally say, I don't have a lot of realization, but I've realized this, that in my sadhana, especially the chanting of mantras and the reading the Shastra, that when you open the books and start doing it, you just can't stop. And I want to thank you for making me do that, Vaisi.
My friend Divyanga Prabhu is very generous. He says I make him do things like that, but he has his own volition in life. I see.
Now they know you, Vice. You're making them do it too. I also got to tell you, I'm doing the whole Brahmasamhita now. It's not just starting with the Chintamani. So you made me do that too, and thank you for that nectar.
How old is your daughter now, Div?
She's 10.
Yeah, so every night he reads to his daughter. They read together, and he's gone through, the whole Nectar Devotion and the Krishna book and many of the other books. So they have a very tight program there. And his 10-year-old daughter is very eager to always to hear because, she's around somebody who's got a taste for it and has been going on Sankirtan every day since I've known him in 1973. That's Divyanga Das. Hey, Dev, what a pleasant surprise to hear your voice. Thank you very
Like
much.
I said, I hate to interrupt the class, but I just had to chime in, and I want that book. You got to get that Sangerton book out.
Okay, I got to go. Thank you very much.
I was out on Sangerton today in Orlando in the malls, out in the outlet malls distributing books, and I probably distributed 75 or 80 books today and met so many nice people that took Krishna. But I tell you this one funny story. I met this really nice lady. She gave a donation and had the birth and death. And she gave it to her son. She didn't look at it. She just handed it to her son. 10 minutes later, she came driving back and came out of the car, and she said, excuse me, and gave me the book. She said, how could you give this to us? This is inappropriate. And I thought to myself, inappropriate? This is the only appropriate thing. Hey, the kid was in the car eating a lollipop, so he already had the prasadam, so that was good. You know, and she gave a donation, and so they'd started their devotional service, Vaish, but it's just, I just was going out and walking around to the next person, and I was thinking, you know, what's going to happen with the next person? And it's just so sweet. So thank you for your association and your inspiration.
Thank you for your association inspiration. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Prabhu.
Haribol, Dev.
The class.
Nice to hear your voice. Please,
so
please
nice.
call
I'll
in more
talk to
often.
you later, Vaishan. Prabhu's, all glories to ISKCON Silicon Valley, millions of Gitas. I mean, you guys are taking over the world.
Hari Hari. Hare Krishna. Okay, yes.
I like the one where you said that if you don't make a plan, then your senses will make one for you, and that's
Yeah,
very
if you
true.
don't make a plan, your senses will make one for you. Okay. Bali Madan.
You made the comment also, long-term planning really helps resolves a lot of the short-term planning.
Short term, yeah. Okay. Oh, and Swati's got the last word.
So I like that, the pressure under overtime, that is healthy, and, pressure makes diamonds, so I like that.
Yeah, if you can survive it, then you can come out. Okay, so...
me on the phone line.
Yes?
Yeah, the point which you said, don't keep big things for the last. Take them first. That is one point which I like most.
Yes, that's one of my favorites too. Thanks for reminding us of that. Okay, so everyone do something practical tonight to break the procrastination habit, if you happen to have one, and try one of the things that you heard tonight and experience progress in your spiritual practice and in your life. Thank you very much. Go Premanande Haribo! And now we're going to have a famous kirtan session here at ISV. So we'll put away all the asanas, we'll stand up, and then we'll observe the Artik ceremony. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Okay. Thank you. Kartalis. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachari Shatarine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. I was just looking for Damodar. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Hari Nama Eva Kevala Kalau Nasteva Gatiranyata Adinama eva kevala Kalau nasteva Gatiranyata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Hey Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Hey Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jai Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Jai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Jaya Prabhupada Go Premanande Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotar Shishimad Pacharanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotar Shishimad Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Gudi Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prems Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopi Na Sham Kund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Samabeta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories to some of the devotees. Go Premanande Haribo. Shingadev. Yeah. Oh, one announcement before you start. Hold on. After.
Pralada Dayane Pralada Dayane Hiranyakashi Vaksha Hiranyakashi Vaksha Silatanka nakalaye Silatanka Ito narshingo parato narshingo No More mridangos please Anyone Follow me Yato yato yamitato narshingo Yato yato yamitato Paye narshingo ridaye narshingo narshingo Shingamadim Sharanam Prapaje Shingamadim Sharanam Prapaje Oh Avakara Kamalavare Nakama Pita Shingam Dalita Hiranyakashipo Tano Bringa Shavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadishare Jaya Jagadishare Jaya Jagadishare Agara Kamalavare Kamalputa Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tano Bringa Nisavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadishare Jagadishare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadishare Jaya Jagadish Hare, Jaya Jagadish Hare. Oh, Keshavadeta. Jaya Nashingade, Jaya Nashingade, Anashingade, Jaya Nashingade, Jaya Nashingade, Jaya Nashingade. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya 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 Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much.
Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev ki jai. Go Premanande, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
How is everyone doing? How is everyone feeling?
Good.
Ecstatic and blissful?
Yes.
How else could you feel after such an ecstatic kirtan? So for the benefit of our newcomers and also for the benefit of all devotees in general, we have a 2-minute presentation by Dikshit Prabhu. He is actually going to explain the meaning of the prayers that we just sang for Lord Nrsimhadev. And after that, we'll follow with the announcements.
Hare Krishna. So, can everyone see the prayers, or do we need the books to be circulated? Hare Krishna. So, Namaste Narsimhaya. I offer my obeisances to Narsimhadev. Prahlad Akhlad Dain. Can someone increase the sound, please? Prahlad Akhlad Daine means Akhlada is giving happiness. Prahlad Akhlad Daine is one who gives happiness to Prahlad. And Prahlad is the dear devotee of Nrsimhadev. And Hiranyakashipur Vaksha Shilatankana Kalaya. That means he ripped open the body of the chest of Hiranyakashipu, the father of Prahlad. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yatoyam Tato Narsimha. Narsimha is here, Narsimha is there, and wherever I go there is Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha, Hrudaye Narsimha. Narsimha is outside and also inside my heart. Narsimham Adim. Lord Narsimha is the origin of everything. Sharanam Prapate. And that's why I surrendered on to him. And the next verse is from the Dashavatara Stotra by Jayadeva Goswami. The first two verses are from Narasimha Purana. And the next verse is Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam. That means your lotus hands are decorated with your nails. Adbhuta Shringam, it has wonderfully pointed nails. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam. That means he has ripped open the body of Hiranyakashipu just like he has crushed the wasp within the fingernails. Keshava Drita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshava Drita. Drita means one who has assumed or worn the form. So Keshava means Krishna. Krishna has come in the form of Narahari Rupa, in the form of half man, half lion form. And Jaya Jagadisha Hare, our glories unto him who is the Lord of universe in Hari. So the last verse means, O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Hari, our glories unto you. And you have descended in the form of half lion and half man and crushed the body of Hiranyakashipu, Dalita Hiranyakashipu, just like one crushes a wasp within the fingernails. And you have done that with your pointed nails on the lotus hands. Our glories unto you, O Nrsimhadev. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. We welcome everyone to ISKCON of Silicon Valley. ISKCON stands for International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are a worldwide community, and the local temple here for all of you, serving all of you in the Bay Area, is right here at 951 South Bascom Avenue. We'd like to welcome both our old guests whom we see very often, and also our new guests. This is a community. Our mission is to extend mercy to all living entities by widely spreading the holy names of Krishna. As we heard in one of the verses that actually Vaisesika Prabhu sang during the Kirtan, describes that in this age of Kali, there is no other way except the names, chanting the names of Lord Hari for spiritual realization and for achieving the ultimate goal of life. So this is what we practice, and this is also what we preach. We go out, we distribute spiritual literature which enlightens everybody in transcendental knowledge, and we read these books ourselves and follow it in our lives. So we invite everyone to come join us regularly, as often as you can, and add to the ecstasy and the bliss that we all experience in together, congregationally chanting the holy names of Lord Krishna. So at this time, we would like to request our newcomers who are coming to the temple for the first time, if they could kindly introduce themselves, and maybe they could say a few words about what brought them here today. Could we have a microphone passing around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone before me, please. Anyone before me? Go this side. I'm next.
My name is Anand Kulkarni. I came from Pune, and I will be here for next 2 months. I'm on a business visit over here, and Krishna is our family god, so we worship him since last many generations. Yeah.
Great. Excellent. You are very fortunate to be
Yeah,
born in such a family.
That's brought me here.
We welcome Mr. Anand Kulkarni from Pune, and you'll also find many friends from Pune. There are actually a lot of devotees from Pune.
I see.
If you'd like to connect to any of them.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, here. There's. What?
Can you get the mic?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of devotees from Pune. We'll have you introduced to them later. Who else is here for the first time?
Yes. Hi guys, I'm Venu. I'm working as a software engineer, and I moved from Chicago to here to Bay Area. So I saw this temple and So I moved from Chicago to here to Bay Area, and this is the first time I came to this temple when I was coming. I was traveling in the road, and I saw this temple. That made me to come over here, and I'm very glad to be here, and it's very well done here. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We have a small gift for you. Please accept it. Thank you. Please come here as often as you can. And you've moved here for good, right? Okay. Very good. We like that. Okay. Who else is here?
Hi, my name is Kiran Deshpande.
Kiran Deshpande.
I came with Dr. Anupam.
With whom?
Dr. Anupam.
Oh, Dr. Anupam. Yeah, he's my old friend from Stanford. Yes.
I'm staying from last 2 years here in San Jose.
But this is your first visit here. Okay, very good. Where do you live?
Southwest.
Southwest? Oh, it's very close.
Yeah, it's close.
So you should come here every week, and also bring your friend. We see him once in maybe 6 months or so. So both of you should come more often.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for the first time? I see some new faces back. Yeah, it's okay. You can introduce yourself.
My name is Sushil Pal. I already came last maybe 1 month ago.
1 month ago? Okay, maybe we missed
That was my
you.
first day and maybe today is my last day because I'm going to in Virginia.
To Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope that next Janmashtami I will be celebrating New Vrindavan.
Excellent, excellent. We have centers all around the world, so wherever you go, if you do, please find a nearby ISKCON center and you can always go there.
Actually, I celebrate mostly a couple of temples in Janmashtami, like as Dallas, Vrindavan, Montreal, Toronto.
Okay. Have you been here for Janmashtami?
No.
Not yet. Okay.
Unfortunately, very short time I'm living here.
Okay. Maybe next year.
So Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Anybody else for the first time? I thought there were some new devotees that Dikshit Prabhu was talking to. Are they still here? Oh, they just left. Yeah.
We cannot forget her. Thank you, everyone. My name is Krishna Sundar Das. I'm a disciple of Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj. I'm here for the first time in your house, but I was here to see, what is her name? Madan Mohan. She has such wonderful, beautiful blue eyes. Has everyone noticed? Has everyone noticed her beautiful blue eyes? This is part of my preaching. Why does Radharani have blue eyes? If she is an Indian girl. How many people can answer this question? Why does Radharani have such blue eyes? No. Because she wants to. Answer to question. Done. Because she wants to have blue eyes. Haribol. Thank you. Okay, very simple. Thank you for inviting me into your home. Dandavats to all the respected Vaishnavas. Thank you for letting me preach something about my Lord and about my Gurudev. And now I will humbly try to take the sincere seat at Vaisesika Prabhu. I've already offered myself to him 2 or 3 times since I've been here, because he is obviously the designated Vaishnava of this situation, and I will just do whatever he asks me to do. This is Gaudiya Vaishnava etiquette. You do whatever your elders wish you to do. So, thank you very much for inviting me into your home. I love you all, and thank you for everything. And we'll have some nice kirtan and some nice prasadam, and that is all I can ask for. Thank you. We love you.
Thank you very much. So, we'd like to thank His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu for presenting tonight's Krishna Katha. It was a lecture on why and how to avoid procrastination, not only in your daily lifestyle, but how that principle is specially applicable to spiritual life.
First Jai Radhamadava, right?
Yes.
Now we'll play Mridanga first.
Not yet. After the program. After that. So thank you very much, Vaisesika Prabhu, and also for leading an ecstatic kirtan. Hari Bol. We'd like to thank our guest for leading the Narsimdev prayers, and to our own Dikshit Prabhu for explaining them so well, so nicely. Okay, is anybody celebrating a birthday, a wedding anniversary, or... Today, Hari Boss. Can you tell us her name?
My mom's 89. Her name is Kesarben Patel, and she could Patel. Yeah.
So we'll sing in our traditional Hare Krishna style for Dilip Bhai Patel's mother. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna, dear Keshav Bhai Patel Mataji, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Hare Bol. Please convey our warmest regards to your mother, and please have her come here sometime if possible. Thank you. Sponsor. Okay. So next we'll announce the sponsor for tonight, and as I just understand, it's Bharani Mataji who is sponsoring the feast, Sunday feast tonight. Thank you very much. Yes, the cooks for tonight are, now this is going to sound like yesterday's drama, but it's true. They are Ananda Mataji and Padma Mataji. And they were really helped by Mahesh Prabhu today. Okay. Also, Balimadan Prabhu cooked the sweet dish today, so please thank Balimadan Prabhu too. And there really was Brinda's performance today as well, so she came late. Okay. Oh, Brinda is here. Wow. Excellent.
Yesterday was Kinjal Mataji's birthday, and today feast is also sponsored
By her. Okay. We have a second sponsor. It's Kinjal Mataji, I guess, and Hiten Prabhu as well, right? So we'll sing for Kinjal Mataji in absentia. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna, dear Kinjal Mataji, Hare Krishna to you. Hari Bol. Last but not the least, we'd like to request a few devotees to volunteer for cleaning the temple after the program. Yes, Hari Bol. We need 4 more, at least 4 more. Is that right? Total 5. Okay, 1. Okay. Who else would like to volunteer? Please just raise your hand, and you could talk to any one of us after the program, and we could all do it together. We can work together. Yes, Mahesh. Oh, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Okay, we'll figure it out after the prasadam. Yes, Damodar Prabhu has something to say.
Hare Krishna, everybody, and we wanted to share a good news today. Dilip Bhai Prabhu approached today, and we have sponsorship for 2 more tiles for our $1 million wall. And the glorious donors are Rajnikant Prabhu, who is brother of Dilip Bhai Prabhu, and his other brother also, Kanti Lal Patel Prabhu. Dilip Bhai Prabhu is the originator of the Panchajanya project, which is also called Motal Gita project. Very kind-hearted, has been a well-wisher of ISV from the past, and they have sponsored a lot of tiles and done a lot of big donations to support our new temple project. Anybody who is inspired to donate for new temple, you can do so in few ways. One is you can get a tile. Each tile comes for $2,000, and you can put a name for yourselves or your beloved ones with a small message or name. The tiles are going quick and fast, so you can see us for that. Also, if $2,000 is too large an amount, you can also pledge any amount for, even as $100, $500, $1,000. And we give you tax receipts for that. Those are all tax deductible. So you can see us. What we also wanted to do was in 2013, since the new fiscal calendar has started, and you would like to plan for your charity donations and all, you can contact us by becoming a monthly donor. And it's very simple. We can give you, if you go to the website, you need 3 information. First is the name of the institution, which is ISKCON of Silicon Valley. The second is the bank account number, and the third is the routing number. And all those three things are there in the website. And it takes less than 30 seconds to enroll ISKCON of Silicon Valley as a direct deposit beneficiary. And with all your paychecks coming to your home, small amount can come to the temple accounts directly. That's one way. Secondly, you can also make any one-time donations. And, last year we made a lot of progress, and we have target of accumulating around $500,000 this year. And what we would like to do is, you all can come forward and take a pledge. Say, for example, you can say, I will collect $5,000 in next 2 months. Or I will collect $10,000 in next 3 months. And so that basically you donate from your side, and you are doing that for the past. And you can also reach out to your friends and relatives, because we will be reaching to a new temple. And it's a very best way of engaging others into this very beneficial service. So in case you want to commit, please see us later. Okay? Thank you so much for being a patient audience.
Haribol! No more things. Oh, sorry. Good idea.
Regarding the seminar next week, we are having Rage Smart Krishna Kids. Please, if you can move a little bit. Yeah, this is the sorry for this is the flyer. I don't have much copy, but it had been sent, and I would request Damodar Prabhu to please send it tomorrow to all of our congregation members. So, in short, Arudha Mataji and her son, His Grace Radhika Raman Prabhu, will be here next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So the seminar will be 2-part. One will be on Saturday 10:15 a.m. in the morning till 1, and after that lunch will be provided in the temple. So there is a Google Doc Ananda and I think Vishaka Mataji has sent out. So please fill it out just to make sure that you make the right amount of prasadam for the devotees. And after that 2:30 to 5 o'clock we'll have the second seminar, continuations of that. And following that Sunday 1 to 3:30 would be also the conclusion of their seminar on Sunday. So this is a very excellent opportunity, those who are parents, those who wanted to be parents, and even though they wanted to learn about something new, because I was talking to Vaisesika Prabhu last night, and he said he might be leaving early. He said, no, why not? I can join also. So it is also up to your chance. You can also join in the seminar and really learn a lot, because His Grace Radhika Raman Prabhu, he's a professor right now, and he studied from Oxford University. He did his PhD, and a very brilliant in our ISKCON society. So please do come and share your thoughts. One more tile. Okay, I give to Damodar Prabhu.
Tiles are flying. Can you imagine? That's what happened when when we had ISKCON centers in UK coming up, and people were not sure. Devotees were not sure how the center will come up, but some devotees did realize, and we are realizing here in ISV. So this tile from Shriram, Samu and Lata Mataji. Don't hold back. Check your bank account and draw a check for 2,000 for ISV.
So we'll have prasadam after the prasadam prayers.
Where are they?
Can somebody pass the... Okay, I'll get it.
Sharira dhijaja jotendriya thahika jibe pele vishaya shagare tarma je divayati loba moisu durmati Take jeta katita samsare Krishna bodo doyamo Kori bare chihaja Shaprasharam Nadilo Ba Shayanamrita Pao Radha Krishna Guna Gao Premedako Shri Chaitanya Nita Ekadina Shanti Pure Prabhu Advaitera Kare Tui Prabhu Bojani Boshilo Shakori Ashwadana Prabhu Bole Bhakta Gana Esha Krishna Ashwadilo Eno Shakashwadane Krishna Prema Aishe Manne She Preme Koro Ashwadan Jada Budi Parihari Prasana Kori Hari Hari Bolo Sarvajan Paire Sakshi Rangane Kabu Madhavendra Puri Prabhu Prasadana Korena Bhojan Kaite Kaite Kara Ailo Prema Sudurba Bole Shuno Sanyasi Raga Moksha Ganta Pulabadi Dali Dalna Chachari Sachi Mata Korilo Randa Tara Shuddha Bhakti Heri Bojana Korilo Hari Shuddha Samayanam Vyanjan Jogi Jogi Pai Jaha Boge Ajabetaha Hari Boli Kao Sabe Bai Krishnera Prasadana Sri Jagat Kori Dhanya Tripurari Nache Jahapai Tripurari Nache Jahapai Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmari Vaishnave Sapa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwaso Navijay Prasade Savadukanam Hani Rasho Pajayate Prasana Cheta Soyashu Duripaya Vatistate Bhagavad Shri Mahaprasade Ki Go Premanande Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Please come take prasadam. Haribo. So prasadam will be served in the picnic area.
Not now.
Just outside. And there'll be plenty of room inside here. You can come back into the light and warmth. And
if you're decrepit.